Hey, we are live.
Yes, we are.
Isn't that fancy?
Fancy, in a whole different way.
Fancy. Technology testing.
Yeah,
Technology testing.
we're actually sitting next to each
Uh,
other,
yeah. What? An hour and a half away? Hour 45 minutes away?
roughly. Hey, we
Something
should
like
do our
that.
intro.
We probably should. Welcome to Tales from the Humidor. I'm Ken.
I'm Chris.
And as you can see, we're in two different places. It's kind of crazy. Chris is playing Carney for the week, and I'm at home.
Wrong side of the fair. I'm playing electrician for the week.
Chris is playing Carney for the week.
I maybe played with the carney.
Uh, I'm
No,
happy.
no, I
I'm
didn't. By
happy
the way,
for you. I'm happy for you. I'm really glad. Uh, today, and we were just talking before the show, which was really hilarious. We're smoking another Crowned Heads. Uh, apparently, we smoke a lot of Crowned Heads. I guess you can't really argue with um, the quality of their product. Today, we're smoking the Texas exclusive Yellow Rose. Fancy. Made specifically for retailers in Texas. It is a 6.5 by 54 box press torpedo.
Yeah.
It's pretty fancy.
yeah. Not even in Texas, and we're smoking it, so that's something that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're all the way up here in Michigan smoking some Yellow Rose. I suppose you want me to tell you about this here cigar as you wave to people walking by.
Yeah,
Are they
it's
giving?
I'm kind of a big deal around here.
Are they giving you more ookie cookie?
No, they're trying to make me laugh in the truck. You know.
I think it's pretty fancy that you're sitting in your truck with your laptop plugged in, fucking air conditioning and shit.
It couldn't have went any perfect. I got the new truck. It's got a plug, which is cool. It's got free Wi-Fi for 3 months, so that was even cooler. And it's fast ass Wi-Fi.
It is pretty good. Your camera sucks, but it's pretty good.
Yeah,
So
that's the laptop, not the truck.
I want to start smoking, and then we can shoot the shit. This is, I already said what we're smoking. The cigar, interestingly enough, here's a tidbit for you, is it's the same blend as the Tennessee Waltz. They're just different sizes. As people try to give you more ookie cookie.
That's really it. It's the Tennessee Waltz.
It's the same blend as the Tennessee Waltz, which is also the same blend as the cigar he made exclusive for Hawaii.
Well, how exclusive is it now?
Well, they're all different sizes, so you know.
So ideally, it's going to taste pretty similar to the Tennessee Waltz, which we have not had yet, or I haven't.
No, we haven't smoked them yet.
No.
We have them, but we haven't smoked them.
Right.
So it is. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
Connecticut broadleaf. I know how much that disappoints you.
Yeah, I'm disappointed extremely.
Around Nicaraguan binder and all Nicaraguan filler. No details on the binder or the filler other than it's Nicaraguan. And you can see just by looking at the wrapper that it is most definitely Connecticut broadleaf. Because quite frankly, Connecticut broadleaf wrappers are kind of ugly, but they're so delicious.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if it's just my professional LED lighting, but it has like little sparkles in it.
It might be your professional LED lighting.
No, seriously, there's like little glittery sparkles all over it. It's actually kind of cool.
Yeah. I wonder if that's like the tiny little toothiness to it.
Right. It's cool.
Some fairly pronounced veins. You probably can't see it on the... Oh, yeah, you can see that big motherfucker right there on the camera.
Really? You gave me the good one then, because mine looks freaking beautiful.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that big old vein.
I bet you have burn problems there, huh?
Probably, but we'll see. What do you get off the foot? Tell me.
I was almost thinking it reminded me of the All My Exes. not, I don't want to say like straight up strong peppermint, but like that kind of sweet spice, like a peppermint. You know what I mean? It's
There is a little spice there, and there's a sweetness there. I wouldn't say peppermint because it doesn't
maybe
smell of
cinnamon.
peppermint.
Maybe cinnamon.
There's like a chocolatey,
it's
cinnamony.
yeah. I don't know what it is. It's definitely sweet smelling, very sweet smelling.
Which Connecticut broadleaf, no big surprise.
Right, which is delicious.
Also, no big surprise. These are manufactured in the My Father SA factory.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt anything.
Because crowned heads.
Yes. Yeah, I think we and our viewers know crown heads by now. All right. Well, I think I may be smoke boxing my truck. I'm scared to crack the window with the people in the area. Who knows what kind of weird stuff will come out, but we're going to give it a shot.
You are definitely going to smoke box your truck.
Goes back in 2 years. Don't care.
The dry draw is really interesting.
It is.
There's like, even on the dry draw, there's almost like a crushed red pepper that hits the back of your throat, but there's still that sweetness, a definite sweetness to it.
I could dry draw this thing nonstop. I wouldn't even have to light it. It'd last longer.
Right?
And it tastes freaking delicious.
I think it's going to last long enough, but
yeah, but unfortunately, that ain't how I roll. So
let's do it.
Already on it. So, because Ken don't know his dates, I forgot I was out of town this weekend. And one thing this did was give us a great opportunity for our next show with Mr. Fred Rui. So basically for science, I am Fred right now.
Testing the technology.
Testing the technology, except I've seen his broadcast and he has a nicer camera.
He does have a nicer camera than you, so we're good.
Nicer hair.
Well, he has hair.
Yeah, but I choose not to have mine.
He doesn't have the beard going on, though.
No. I'm going to see how long I can get away with this before work says something. As long as I keep it groomed. Which reminds me, have you ever used the beard oils or anything like that?
I have not.
I'm interested to know what they do. Does it straighten? Does it like make it smooth and straighten it?
I think it makes it soft and supple.
So if it's softer, it's probably straighter because right now it looks like a couple pubes, but it's working.
I know. I got the face pubes too.
I actually trimmed my goatee down to match my beard length. So
did you? No, I'm just gonna grow the beard till it all kind of somewhat matches, and then trim it all to match.
That seems like it would never happen. Because as your beard's growing, your goatee will keep growing.
No, it pretty much doesn't get much longer than this.
Really?
Yeah. So we'll see. Or I might just get fed up with the beard and decide to get rid of it, because that's usually what happens.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, so you said woo right where I was talking. What were you wooing?
Did you retrohale this yet?
Mm-mm. Ooh. Ooh. I retract my previous question. Oh, wow.
Straight up pepper in the sinuses, man.
Straight up goodness.
It's tasty.
Shit. And the bad thing is it didn't make my eyes water, but it hit hard. It's not like an eye-watering spice, but oh man.
But it's there.
Yeah.
It is definitely there. That's why I said that. I was waiting for you to figure out why I said it.
You can't even do it lightly and know it's coming. And oh man, that is good though. Oh.
Wow. There's almost like on the back of that pepper in the retrohale, there's almost like a graham cracker flavor.
It's still burning.
That combination of sweet and cinnamon and like a toasty note.
Yeah.
Like graham cracker. Eh.
And I love graham cracker. Graham cracker is one of those things I never crave until I just have one somewhere. And actually, I'm eating boxes.
You eat all the time. I know, I'm the same way.
Yep. It's like, oh, like now, because you talked about it, I may end up having one and then I'm going to eat them all.
Well, that's how that works. Kind of like that bag of fortune cookies.
Oh, you know what? My back's a little sore. I think I'll turn on my heated seat to warm up.
Gonna turn on the heated seat with the air conditioner on.
This is nicer than most studios I've never seen.
I don't know. You're happy. That's all that matters.
Yeah. I mean, I got the XM on, but it's turned down. So
Yeah, I can't hear it, so you're good.
if a good song comes on, I'll pop it on for you.
This is freaking tasty.
Yeah, it is. That retro hair hurts so bad, but I just want to keep doing it.
It hurts so good is what it is.
I've never been a woman, but I imagine like the first time making love, that's the feeling I'm having right now. I think. Yeah, no, that's absolutely. I like that.
I figured you would.
I'm pretty sure it's going to mellow down once we get through. It's got to.
I think it Crown Heads. John is really good at doing that, hitting you with the pepper up front and then just letting it slowly take a step back and then let the other flavors develop, and that's where you get all the subtlety in Crown Heads, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, and actually not had anything to do. The shop down here I went to, and they had the La Imperiosas just coming in. I'm like, oh, and I grabbed one. That was so freaking good.
How could you not grab one if it's there? How could you not grab it? I mean,
well, because you go to a new shop, especially it's Genuine down here, so it's a lot of stuff to look for. And I mean, last night I grabbed Leaf by Oscar Maduro, which was good. I really enjoyed that. It was nice and smooth. It's a real good Maduro taste to it. Even I had people around me telling me that the smoke alone, that smells like a really good cigar on that one. But yeah, it was. I went up here and I asked about Esteban Carreras because I couldn't think of the name of the one I wanted to try, but we wanted to try, and he said he had a couple, and I didn't see it there, so I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, but I don't remember off the top of my head the name of that one either.
And going through this, this is from Michigan. I've been to all the shops, but Genuine is probably one of the bigger humidors in Michigan. Would you say?
Yeah, I would say so.
And
it's pretty sizable.
But I get disappointed in their lack of, boutique. They diddle in it a little bit here and there, but like Romacraft, I don't understand how Romacraft is not in more shops up in Michigan. I know it's a hard state, but I mean everything that they make is freaking so good, and they don't have it, and it disappoints me living in Michigan. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, that's why I end up getting a lot of stuff from UG, because if I want boutique, then I go to UG and get my shit. I mean, yeah. I just got, what did I get? I got these Prendalos, which we may smoke in the future. La Polinas, just all sorts of.
I say, yeah, you just went got a lot of nice stuff there. Yeah, it makes you sit back and makes you wonder what could these little companies do to stretch out up here. And I know a lot of them are so small, and it's hard to start out up here when they're all Miami based, usually around Texas based lately. But still, it's disappointing.
Or Tennessee, like Crown Heads.
Yep. Which but Crown Heads, I've been through a lot of shops we have up here get those, which is good.
Well, the nice thing about that is it's plugged in with the My Father stuff. So people who carry My Father usually have also Crown Heads, Tatuaje, the stuff coming out of the same factory. Um, in Michigan, it's all the same rep. So if people are plugged in with that rep and getting my father, then he'll try to move them to the things like Crown Heads and Tatwahe. Uh, the I mean, obviously, in Michigan, you're not going to get the Yellow Rose unless you order it from somebody in Texas.
Right.
Um, you're not going to get the Tennessee Waltz unless you're in Tennessee and pick it up. Now that
Which
I've smoked this and knowing that the Tennessee Waltz is a smaller cigar, it's a 5x52. I'm almost wishing we had picked up more of those. But
right.
what are you
Right.
going to do? I suppose I could always call Burns and tell him to send me a box.
Yeah. Speaking of which, God, I wish I had money. Genuine up here is running a buy a box, get a box. So there's like a table of this stuff, but they had like La Serena Merlions, 175 for a box, and you get a box. Yeah, they had
Wow.
some Fuentes, some Monte Cristo. They had some decent stuff on the table, but I was like, oh my God, $175 for 2 boxes of those, which were, they weren't. I didn't like them as good as her original, but they were still a good smoke. I'm like, geez.
40 cigars for under $200. Yeah, that's kind of hard to beat.
Yep, and like I said, they had a couple other random things on there, but it was cool. It was, God, I wish I had money.
I'm trying to take a step back from spending money on cigars. I've got so many, I got no freaking room for them anymore.
I was gonna say that's probably your problem is you're out of room. The money ain't the issue. Actually, I mean, realistically, I'm pretty much out of room in my humidor right now too. So,
Too bad most of it's not yours.
yeah, by most of it, probably 95%. But I wouldn't fill it anyway. Here's a new thing. This may be the first time we may have just did the first time ever on a cigar show, live show. I was driving in reverse just a minute ago.
Were you?
Yep.
Well, that's fancy.
Yep, I had to back out of the tent a little bit.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so that's again, back to not that I'm like picking on Genuine because I love them, but again, it's like the same as Burns. It's that hard thing of the big humidors, and you walk in, and I just spent like 20 minutes walking around. What do I want? What do I want? And eventually, it gets to the point where okay, next thing I see that looks good, I'm grabbing it. And then you go to walk out the door, and then next thing you know, you see something else. You put that thing back. It's I would never say I never thought I'd say I'd hate picking out cigars so much. But
it's tough when you have a big humidor full of stuff, especially if it's stuff that you don't get locally. You know what I mean?
yeah. And I don't. Oh, on a side note, I don't know how much bandwidth this uses, but I only got 3 gig right now, so hopefully we're good.
Your video's a little choppy, but it'll do. Your audio's fine.
Okay. I don't know how much bandwidth a show like this uses.
I don't know either.
We'll find out, won't we?
I don't know. I guess we'll know.
The retrohale's already mellowed out.
Yeah.
It's a lot more sweetness, I think, coming through.
If it wasn't for this big old vein sitting on the bottom, I wouldn't be afraid of this ash either.
Oh yeah,
I got a little vein sitting there, and well, I know you're in a truck, so you probably don't want to spill ash all over.
No, I'm ashing quite frequently.
Yeah, I figured.
And of course, I got to sit kind of like facing towards the passenger seat a little bit, so I'm like sitting kind of crooked. But
yeah,
the things we do for what we like.
But you can see it's kind of already starting to bend.
Yeah,
we'll see. But surprisingly, despite the fact that it's bending, the burns pretty damn straight. Um,
Yeah,
which
didn't seem
it,
bad.
it, a pretty straight burn on a Connecticut broadleaf is always impressive.
Right, and I don't know, and because obviously you have way more knowledge than me in this, but I think from what I noticed on the broadleaf, the more it ferments, the worse the burn is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, a really fermented, like where they get really dark and so forth and whatnot, they're impossible to keep any kind of a straight line. Where, you know, like this one, it's a darker cigar, but not as dark as some, you know, how some of them get.
Yeah,
And
no, it's a medium dark for sure.
so, in my, like I said, my experience, I think that has something to do with burn as well on the broadleaf.
I think yeah, you're probably right. Um, plus with the broadleaf, you do usually expect some pretty decent veins, and that usually will have a pretty sizable effect on the straightness of the burn.
Right, and that's what I was saying. I was actually really shocked about my wrapper because there's, I mean, I'm gonna bring it up, but I know it ain't gonna show. You can see that little line. It's not as big as it looks there. That's it. I mean, it's all in all a really good looking wrapper on this one
Yeah,
for
you got a nice one for sure.
for a broadleaf. I appreciate it. Um, what else? Have you been smoking anything lately? Anything different?
No, not really. I just got that pretty sizable shipment in the mail, and of course they went in the humidor to sit. The yellow rose I got a couple weeks ago, so that's why I figured it was good to smoke. But all the stuff I just got this week can sit for a while before I try it. I haven't
Yeah.
smoked. Smoking through a lot of dissident nomads. Um,
I mean, all good shit, of course. You know.
Arizona. Uh,
Yeah, that's something I'm out of that I'd like to have some sitting in my humidor is for sure some Terrazonas. Um, you know, again, just good. Well, let's
it's
see here.
it's a pretty good inexpensive smoke. Um, well, shit, I'll talk about it now since we're talking about all the stuff I just got.
Yeah,
Ezra Zion is doing the. They just released a new thing. It's called blending sessions. Uh, it basically it's a bunch of random blends, which you may end up with a blend that's actually in production. You may end up with a blend that was scrapped. You may end up with a blend that's all one kind of tobacco. You really don't know. Out of the 20 cigars, only 5 of them have had bands, and they're all the plain white bands with the name of the blend on it. That's it. So 15 out of the 20 cigars, you have no fucking idea what it is. And I think that's really cool.
yeah,
Um,
and like I know we talked about it before. It's Enter Zion, so it ain't like you're gonna
yeah.
get, you know, a brown bag cigar.
No, it's not like you're going to get anything that sucks. It's all going to be pretty good stuff. It's interesting, you know. What'll be really interesting is trying to pick out if you get a production blend, trying to pick out if it is, and if it is, can you pinpoint exactly what cigar you're smoking type stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Out of us two, you'd definitely be the one that would do it over me. I've surprised myself a few times, but
I have no idea. It's interesting. I got the email from Ezra Zion saying they released it, and I ordered a 20 pack like 20 minutes later when I had time to sit down and order it. And honestly, dude, $80? Come on.
no, that's because
But
anything, you know, well, that's like usually about $10 is about their average stick price, right? So
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, so
they're solidly in the between 8 and 12 depending on the size. Um, the, you know, it, it's cool, A, because hello, uh, $4 a stick.
Yeah.
And you know you're going to smoke good stuff. It's not going to be garbage. And you get to try stuff that may never make it to market. And so you get to play around with trying to figure out what they were thinking when they put that particular cigar together. I thought it was a brilliant idea, and so I jumped on it right away. And it's just really funny. And they say, they actually package this little pamphlet with it, and they're like, if you find something that you think's a winner, let us know. I'm like, how am I going to let you know? I
Yeah.
don't know what it is. Okay, I'm going to take pictures, and I'm going to send you tasting notes, and maybe you'll be able to figure out what you sent me. I don't know.
Send them the butt of it. Maybe they'll figure it out. Yeah, I mean, something like that. Maybe they didn't want to do that, but label. They know which one's what. Maybe label these ones, twos, yada yada. But then maybe that's something they didn't want because. But then again, you think for me that'd be good marketing because now you're going to get a community of guys saying, "All right, what do you guys think number 2 was?" And it creates conversation not only about the cigar but about their cigar. and maybe the problem is it's not like a production release system, thing. So, but still, I think something like that would be cool because next in the community talking, hey, what do you think it is? What do you think? Something like that.
Well, and the one thing they did say too is every package is different. So, I don't know how many of these little trial blends they have sitting around. So I don't know, if maybe they only have 5 of this one, and they have 100 of this other one. So let's play and have a little fun.
Right. Yeah, that's weird though. How would you tell them which ones you like?
I take pictures and attach them to the email. Say this is what it looked like when I started, and this is what it looked like when I ended, and this is what I tasted, and this is why it's freaking fantastic. If that's the case.
Do you know how many they had? Was there? And I'm sure it was limited quantities, but
It didn't show a limit. I'll pull it up real quick and we'll take a look. I'll tell you what, man. Ezra Zion, I can't even begin to express how great the stuff is they're putting out.
yeah, I definitely agree.
Because they've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 regular productions now, I think. Oh wow, they're yeah, what a surprise. Their website's way out of date.
Yeah, and I noticed that with a lot of companies, like the smaller size, that they do that. Their websites don't really stay up to date with them.
Oh, I guess I'm not going to be able to pull it up. I don't recall it saying that it was like super limited or anything like that. So, I mean, five packs were what, $20? I think that's well within the cigar smoker's budget.
Yeah, and I may pull out the old credit card and pick up a couple fivers, maybe.
I think you should. It'll be fun, especially if if you get yours and then we take a look and see if we have any that look similar, and then try to smoke them and figure out if they're the same or not.
Yeah,
Could be fun. I have 2 cigars that look pretty much identical, and they're both in cello. That's all I know.
I was just going to ask you, did you like separate them by colors and try to separate them by what you think is different?
No, I haven't. I left them in the packages they were in and threw them in the humidor. My ash just
Okay.
fell. My ash just fell.
You haven't asked yet?
No, it just fell. So
No, well, that's probably a pretty decent ash you had there.
Yeah, it was a couple inches. Now I have ash all over the dining room table because that's never happened before. At least I didn't wear it. It went on the table. So what do you got? What do you got?
Well, you want some news?
Yeah, let me switch this camera over to you.
I ain't got a whole bunch of news, but got a couple things here. Let's see here. Did you switch over? You good?
Yep.
All right. First thing, I know we talked about a while ago, I think it was the Henry Clay tattoo, right? That's the one that Pete Johnson was doing with Altadis, I believe. It's starting to arrive out there now at retailers, and which means tomorrow when I go to a cigar shop, I'm going to see if they have, and if they do, I'll definitely pick you up one. I don't remember seeing them based on the picture of the box, but that was something that, we talked about and was obviously interested in trying, just based on the fact that it's, Pete Johnson.
Yeah, it could be very interesting.
I'll give it a shot. Yeah, and they were sold out the first day of the trade show, so I don't know who has them. Either way, I think it's something that may be worth trying to find. I'd like to think, even if they don't have it up here, two guys will have them because they are freaking huge. Their humidor is just ungodly huge. About $9, 6x52 pressed Toro with a pigtail cap.
All right.
So $9. That's not a bad price.
No.
Another one. This is kind of cool, and this is Detroit. When was it? A couple years ago or last year, Undercrown did that Shady XV, which is what, 15.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing another one for 2016, the Shady Southpaw, and this is a Detroit area cigar by Drew Estate, and it's being blended by Willie Herrera, which never sucks.
Oh, please no.
It's going to be a pretty bold looking smoke, and it's going to be blended to the palate of Paul Rosenberg, which is the co-founder of Shady Records.
Right, right.
Which is cool. Something a company like that for Detroit. Obviously, usually Detroit's nothing but bad news, shit stuff. Something cool. Coming out of it. Which makes me wonder. Does Eminem smoke cigars?
I think. Well, I know Rosenberg does, but I don't know if Eminem. I would imagine he probably does at this point.
I mean, even just to be cool with his friends. And the last one I saved for you, and you probably already know it, but I know you love the Jericho Hill, right? Mm-hmm. They're adding a new size. I know you can guess the size. Lancero. We got a Lancero Jericho Hill coming.
They're actually going to regularly release it now?
It's, well, if by regular you mean limited to 3,500 boxes of 12.
Well, remember,
if I do my math, 42,000 cigars, I believe. So
that'll be good because the what was it, the Headley Grange drumsticks?
Yep,
were awesome. Those were awesome cigars. I mean, the Headley Grange is good to begin with, but then you put it in a Lancero, and I'm a happy man.
Right, and it's obviously Nicaraguan blend, and I don't think this has changed, but if I believe one of your favorite rappers, the San Andreas, right? Is that wrong?
Yeah, no, that's what's on the Jericho Hill. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's still gonna basically be the same. Nothing special, just Lancero size.
I'm telling you now, man. Between the San Andreas and the Connecticut Broadleaf, those are my two happy places right now.
And on the box it says Jericho Hill 12 Honest Men. I don't know if they all say that or if it's the
Oh
Lancero.
yeah. No, the 12 Honest Men. That's that's that release.
Yep. But yeah,
Yeah.
the
Uh,
Honest Man Lancero, which
a certain cigar shop that we mention very frequently is getting those very soon.
yeah, yeah. Well, sorry to tell you that you just talked about cutting down your spending on some cigars. I just sold you on another box.
Yeah.
um,
Uh,
it's
depending on the box price, it may be two.
yeah.
They're probably what'd you say, 12 cigars?
Yep.
So it's going to be 100 and
MSRP
100
is
and,
$9.95.
yeah, I was going to say 120, $130 for the box. So,
Yep, it's the obviously most expensive line, size in the line. But yeah, that's a good cigar. So, which brings up another thing that I think we've talked about, but I've noticed a lot more Lanceros are starting to come back out in the world.
yes.
You know, that's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but it feels
If
like they're
I,
really
I
coming out.
I think a lot of guys are doing them um that they're sort of following the same type of Crown Heads model where they do a limited release of Lanceros, um, because people are screaming for them. You know, the big cigar fad has its place. There are plenty of people who smoke those giant, ridiculous ring gauge cigars, and if that's you, great. I'm glad you enjoy it.
Yeah,
For me, there's nothing better than a Lancero Corona. If you do a regular production in a Lancero or a Corona, I'm a happy guy. If the smallest size you have is a Robusto, then I'm an okay guy.
yeah, and like you said, a lot of people request it, and you hear a lot of these owners saying the same thing. Everybody requests it, so we do it, and then nobody buys them. And obviously, I think a lot of that goes down to the fact of the price on it. Because Lanceros usually have a higher price than a Robusto, and the I'm going to say inexperienced smokers go in, they see a bigger cigar for less money. Like, I'm buying my cigar based on the amount of tobacco I'm getting for the price. And, you and me and other people like us, we look at it and go, I'm buying a wrapper, or I'm buying a chance to taste a wrapper.
Yeah, I'm buying a beautiful wrapper. I'm
Mm-hmm.
buying the opportunity to taste everything that the wrapper was meant to be, um, with the blend that the person put together. I'm not tasting filler, a bunch of filler tobacco, with a little bit of wrapper. You know, that's and I get the logic. So, like you mentioned with the, I'm getting more cigar for my money just because it's bigger, it weighs more. There must be more tobacco, right? Well, it's all filler tobacco. I mean, there's only one wrapper on a cigar
Right. Which isn't saying that
most of the
it
time.
makes the cigar bad. Um, it doesn't. I mean, there's still good flavors. It ain't like it's bad flavors just because it's more filler to it. It's just, some we like the wrapper, some people may not, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I'm not going to be somebody's friend because they prefer a 60 ring gauge. It's just personal preference, and ideally, when it comes down to smoking community, this band of brothers and sisters that we all are, whatever you enjoy is all I care. If you're enjoying what you're smoking and we're sitting there hanging out shooting the shit, that's good for me.
As long as it's not an acid.
Yeah. Yeah. There's, I mean,
Don't assault my nasal passages with that stuff.
exactly. I mean, yeah, I'm still going to like you. You're cool, but go smoke it down the other end of the lounge.
And when you're done with that, let me turn you onto a cigar that's less money and tastes. It isn't masked with flowers and sappiness.
Right. And, but I don't know. We've talked about it. I don't know if it's been on the show, but acid has done a great thing for the cigar world, and it's a great business plan for the idea. You know, you take a $10 stick, you get new cigar smokers coming in, so that helps everybody. But then they become loyal to the Drew Estate name. So you go from a $10 stick, and they decide to step up out of the flavors. Now you're selling $15 Ligas, um, which is that's just good business. Um, but I think acid has a great place in this industry, and what they have done for the industry as a whole. I feel.
Well, here's my take on it. When I first got into cigars, gosh, what is it, 5 years ago now, roughly. Um, I picked up some cigars to smoke with my brother at the baby shower for my first nephew, and I grabbed, I went the El Cheapo route. I grabbed a couple Quorums, some Flor de Oliva type stuff, um, just to smoke, right? And then I found even the Quorum. I really enjoyed the process.
Mm-hmm.
And I went from that to smoking acids. I did. I smoked a lot of acids. Um, and then, much like I'm proposing, someone turned me on to going back to just natural tobacco. And I've never looked back. I don't think I could smoke an acid now. Well, I know I can because I sent you that picture of those little cigarillos.
Yeah, I got that evidence. I saved it, by the way. And
Well,
the whole I screenshotted where you said you bought some. So this is good.
I've actually smoked two of them now. I have actually smoked them.
What, recently?
Yeah, I know. At lunch at work, I decided I wasn't hungry and wanted to smoke a cigar, and that's what I had. So I lit one up, and it was horrible. And so
Yeah.
a couple days later, I'm on lunch at work, and I'm not hungry, and I decide I'm going to smoke a cigar, and I lit another one up, and it was horrible. But yeah, I've smoked 2 out of the 3 in the picture I sent you.
Oh, so you really bought those? I thought you were just fucking with me.
No, I told you I bought them just so I could take the picture and send them to you with the caption "boutique as fuck."
I thought you were just like, haha, I'm telling a funny joke, laugh at this, which I was doing the whole time because I thought it was a joke. And like my story, I started into cigars. I started straight into, the same kind of thing. The $5-6 sticks. When I started, I never went. I'm not counting Black and Mild 18-year-old days. I'm talking actual cigars. $5-6. Reasonable for a. I think I started. I was like 20. In 1920 when I started getting real cigars. So what, 12 years ago? And I've only had a quarter of an acid in my life, but it was after I've already started not knowing it, but I started developing what my palate was and what I wanted in a cigar.
Right.
So that's why I only got a quarter. And I was warned not to buy it. I was warned not to do it. I won't like it. And I said, you know what? I still got to try it. And I got a quarter of it and it went to, I don't know where I think. But and on that same thing, when you're getting somebody off of an acid, I think it's extremely important to give them something good, because it's if if you like something, and you give something that they don't like, they're less likely to keep trying stuff. So it's, if you got a buddy and you want them off acid, don't go get them a Quorum, something like that. And they have their Quorums are all right. They got their place, but don't give them something where they're going to go, yeah, I'm good with my acid.
Right. Well, and like you said, you're going to take someone who's spending a fair amount on a cigar in an acid, and if you try to turn them on to something that's less in the way of cost, price, all of that stuff, chances are it's not going to be. Acids are what they are, but they actually use some pretty good quality tobacco in the acid cigars. Um, they infuse the shit out of it, but it's still good quality tobacco. So you can't take someone who's smoking that and then give them, like you said, a quorum or a two pump chump. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got to step them into something good. For me, it was I think the first real cigar I smoked after the acid kick was Fuente. So yeah, good quality cigar, and I thought that it was a good cigar, but then I went, that was good, but I wanted a little more,
Mm-hmm.
So then I moved, I sought out things that were a little more, had a little more oomph, you know. Now
Well, yeah.
it wasn't like a Fuente Connecticut or anything like that. It was uh, I think it was a Queen Bee or something to that effect.
Well,
So
yeah, pretty decent steak. And you're the kind of person I ended up becoming. I was the person that smoked cigars because it was cool. My friend was doing it. Me and him were smoking together. I didn't care what I was smoking. And now I'm to the stage, obviously, where I'm smoking for my palate. I'm still learning my palate. I don't think you ever master your palate. I think it always changes. But now I'm to that point where, okay, I know I want, if I have a choice out of, the main countries, I want Nicaraguan. I know that.
mm-hmm.
You know, a dark wrapper, the Maduro, the broadleaf, San Andreas is, more on the darker side, I would think, compared to some of the lighter ones. So I know what I like the most of, and I still reach out and I still smoke Honduran. Most of them I don't like, but like the Aroa, those are freaking phenomenal. I absolutely love them things, especially that triple Maduro they got. The Insidious for $4.50. It's got a sugar cap. There's no infusion in the cigar. That's Honduran, and I think that is a really good stick for $4 or $5. So it's I'm now refining my palate. I still want to. I know what I want. I'm just not smoking because I'm bored or my friend is or I think I look cool. Whatever the case may be. Every cigar I smoke, I'm retrohead. I'm tasting. I'm trying to learn it. Just to be a better cigar person.
Yeah, see, I didn't even get, of course, not counting the swishers and the black and milds when you were a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I didn't get into cigars until I was in my 30s. What? Yeah, mid 30s even. If I'm right, and it was 5 years ago. I think it was 5 years ago. Could be coming up on 6 years ago. Either case, early to mid 30s, and that's when I started getting into it. So when I realized what it could become, you mentioned earlier the brotherhood and sisterhood associated with this thing is really what kept me in it. When I started getting into it, I was smoking alone on my porch, and that was cool. I smoked one every few days. But then when I started hanging out and meeting people and getting to know people, then that's when it really became what it is now. And like you, country origin number one, Nicaragua, number one. I
Yep.
I think Nicaraguan tobacco is the best tobacco in the world right now,
Oh,
hands
I
down.
I
Hands
agree.
down.
Yep.
The things that they are doing in that country with tobacco are phenomenal. Um, they're able to grow so many different seed varieties. They're able to produce so many different flavors. I mean, it's awesome. You can take two cigars that are Nicaraguan puros with, let's say, Habano wrappers from two different companies, two different blenders, and you can smoke them, and they taste completely different. And it's all about the blend at that point. and it's all about what was on that blender's mind when he was trying to put the flavor profile together. And I think that, above all else, is phenomenal. I mean, and by and large, Dominican tobacco is good. There are some really good cigars coming out of the Dominican Republic.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, it's a little on the milder side for me. I think what it is about the Nicaraguan tobacco is there's always, I don't want to say always. I've had some Nicaraguan cigars where there was like no spice, but there's almost always spice in a Nicaraguan cigar, even if it's just a little bit. It's there,
Yeah.
and I love that.
And to add on that, I think also, like for me, what I really helps Nicaraguan tobacco is the growing regions. You got all these different regions where the nutrients in the soil are so different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember which one. I know one of them's like a volcanic ash kind of soil. I want to say that's Jalapia Valley. I don't know for sure. But you got all these different regions, like Dominican. Usually, you just hear Dominican. I've never heard anything other than just Dominican. Or Nicaraguan, you got all the all the different regions inside of there, which to me I think also is why you can take a Habano from here and a Habano from here, and it could be the same seed and it's going to come out different in the end, as you grow it, just because of the soil and the nutrients that you're getting. Back pre-embargo Cubans, what made them so special was the nutrients before the sugar cane took it all. It's just and the good cigar for me is I like it when they take a little Dominican and mix it in there with the Nicaraguan, because that Dominican, that little smooth, the fluffiness, not creamy, the fluffiness, kind of goes in with it. And I really enjoy it when they add a little Dominican in a blend, which I'm seeming, I don't know if I'm just paying attention more or what, but it seems like be happening a lot more lately.
I think in a lot of ways you're getting some people who, um, are blending tobaccos from different countries, um, and a big part of that too, that comes out of the wrappers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can take, essentially, Nicaraguan binder, Nicaraguan filler, and then throw a Connecticut broadleaf on it, or throw a San Andreas on it, and suddenly you've created this hybrid of flavors that is pretty, um, diverse.
Yeah, and I think that with the blending, you're starting to see a lot more, I'm going to say wild blending, but a lot more, different stuff that we've never seen before, which is exciting me for the future. CAO has been really big on all this stuff, Brazilian, Italian, Amazon, they're really touching all these areas that really you don't see a lot of, which I could see a trend starting where a lot more of these companies going to start saying, okay, let's start trying some of this stuff, and what can it do for our blending? What can it add? And I don't want to say much, but I know, because Fred will talk about it. I know Fred talks about that when we talk to him down in Tennessee about, I think the sides of the companies, when you're a little smaller, you get to toy around with a lot different stuff, where the big companies, like in Ashton, for example, I can only make 5,000 cigars out of this. They're usually don't lean towards that kind of stuff.
Right.
Which
And
is, boutique is why I like it, because I think it you get different stuff that bigger companies just don't usually touch too much of.
Right. And I was just looking up the information on, Nicaragua. It's actually all volcanic soil.
Okay, I know there was
Um,
one that they talked about it. Just that's all they kept hitting was something about the volcanic soil in whatever area it was.
Jalapa, the difference in the four growing regions, is the climate, basically the climate and elevation. Um, like Jalapa Valley, is typically milder. The soil is like light. Um, you get a lot of wrappers out of Jalapa, and then Esteli, which is like the really rich soil, hot, humid weather type stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where you get a lot of your binders and fillers. And then, what are the other two? Condega and Omotepe.
Mm-hmm. And Ometepe, you don't hear a lot about that.
You're mostly Ometepe. You know, it's funny because you don't. Some of the boutique guys are beginning to use quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think of one particular person who's really been playing around with it, and maybe we can talk to him about that on the next show.
Yeah, for sure. You got to be writing this stuff down because we need to start getting a list of stuff to talk to him about.
Because he plays a lot with Ometepe tobacco, which is really he's one of the first guys I've heard talk about it. Was Fred. Condega, they usually do sun-grown tobacco, primarily filler binder stuff. And Ometepe, like you said, you don't hear a whole lot about because not a lot of people are using it. And I think that getting more and more people turned onto it is probably not a bad thing.
No, and it may be as well one of those things that, you know, it's Nicaraguan fillers. Maybe there's some of it in there. There's, you know, they're just saying fillers, something like that.
Yeah, I almost think though, given the uh, the fact that you don't hear about Ometepe a lot, I think the people that are using it are actually claiming it to say, "Hey, look, this is Ometepe tobacco, which you don't get from other people." Typically, when you hear Nicaraguan bind or Nicaraguan filler, you're thinking most likely Esteli, possibly Condega, right? So,
Yep.
um, let's talk about this cigar.
Yeah, I was going to say we got to get back to that because
We're a good halfway in.
Yep.
Easy.
I don't know if you just seen my face a minute ago, but I retrohaled and the burn is now a eye-watering burn, as opposed to earlier. It really didn't water my eyes too much, but man, it was it hurt bad.
Yeah.
Man, it's still, that sweetness is really for me predominant right on the palate, right on the middle back of the tongue. I'm trying to figure out what it is that you know, what flavor it is, but
Yeah, it's not like you know, the last couple of cigars we smoked had that dried fruit sweetness.
yeah,
That's not it. Um, there's still that chocolate flavor, maybe a little coffee flavor. I'm not getting that cinnamon anymore. The ladies and gentlemen, cinnamon to the stage.
right.
Um,
Yeah, it's, man, I don't even know. I don't know what it is. It's good. Yeah, I'm at a loss of words for what it is.
the pepper in the retrohale is definitely back. The thing I've noticed, being this far into the cigar, is the pepper has stayed in the retro. It's not on the palate at all.
Mm-hmm.
Which you know, sometimes you get that, sometimes you get it in the retro and on the palate. There is a little, like, you ever had the I believe it's Lindt that makes it, Lindt Chocolatiers,
Mm-hmm.
that makes the crushed red pepper and dark chocolate.
Yep.
I'm kind of getting that feel off of this cigar.
Yeah, on the back note, I get a little bit of a pepper, like I'm talking like in the back of the throat.
Yeah, it's that red pepper burn in the back.
Yep.
It's not like a black pepper or anything like that.
Yeah, no,
I am thoroughly enjoying this cigar.
and actually after you said that, you know, that red pepper chocolate stuff, I'm actually can picture myself eating that chocolate and going, yeah, that's what it is. It's like, it's good, sweet, and then just a hair burn, you know, not
Mm-hmm.
you know, just a little bit.
Just a tiny little, and that chocolate, it always struck me, the red pepper in it always got me in the back. like this cigar is doing. So you've
Yep.
got the dark chocolate, which has its own flavor of sweetness, and then you've got the little red pepper burn on the back. I think there's an earthy note to it too, like cedar, most likely, which could lend some of the sweetness too.
Yeah, and I wanted to say cedar, but we say that all the time, so I wanted to make sure that that was or wasn't it.
No, I think that's what you're getting for sure.
But yeah, other than that, it's pretty mellow. Right on the front palate, of the mouth, it's a good flavor. And if anybody gets that chocolate, what's that?
I said, how smoky's your truck?
I got the back windows cracked, so it's not bad. And the air is like pushing it backwards. I kind of got the air facing up so it doesn't hit the microphone. But yeah, if anybody eats that freaking red pepper chocolate or the pepper chocolate, do not chew it. You got to let it melt and you got to suck on it a little bit, because that is where you really get the good flavor out of it. Experience.
I'll tell you what I always wanted to do. I always wanted to make. I used to brew beer a lot, and ever since I had that chocolate, it would be really expensive to do. But I would love to do a chocolate stout with that chocolate. I've done I called it a mocha stout because it was coffee dark chocolate stout. But I'd love to do it with that red pepper because I'd really play with you, because you'd get that nice chocolate stout and then you'd get that little bit of burn in the back.
Well, anyway. What if you made your own chocolate, your own pepper chocolate one way? Make a blend, get one that you like, and then maybe a little cheaper to make a big batch of it for it.
Yeah, you could do that. I just don't know. You'd have to play around with how much red pepper to add to your own blend.
That sounds fun, personally.
You want to be the taste tester? I'll have to go get my brewing stuff, so when we figure out the chocolate recipe, we can make the beer.
It's a date. It's a date for sure.
Sweet.
Yeah, no, other than that, I mean, I'm not getting anything much different than that on the stick. Just goodness.
There was a point before we talked about it. We kind of talked about it a little, how the pepper had subsided in the retro. And that's, I was getting a lot of that earthy cedar flavors and a lot more of the sweetness when the peppers subsided.
Yeah.
Just to go back a little bit in the cigar, because we kind of talked about a lot of other shit and ignored the cigar for a while.
Yeah, we're good at that.
Yeah, well, it's a good cigar. But yeah.
All right.
Your turn.
All right. All right. Well, then I guess that means this right here. Oh, I almost canceled out my show. Boom.
Getting to know Chris, and we're cool. All right.
Oh, Ken doesn't show up. What the heck? That sucks. You know what? Technology sucks.
Are you going to change it?
I'm actually. Bam. Getting to know
Whatever
CK.
Whatever works, man. I still gotta figure out why that isn't working on the
on your end,
on the Tails end, because it works for you and it doesn't work on Tails from the Humidor. I don't know.
Right. I'm just saying a lot because I'm saving this layout, so I have it. So I had to type a name.
You got it. It's all good.
All right. All right. Well, as we've watched a couple shows, we go over some questions with each other to let our fans, our listeners, get to know us a little bit better.
Our loyal viewers. We're gonna have to play this with Fred in 2 weeks.
Oh, I had that thought too. Hey, I'm a little brighter if I keep the white screen up. All right. I'm not asking anything about your job.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
All right, let's see here. What's the last movie you went to? And what did you think?
What was the last movie I went to?
It better not be Ant-Man because we already talked about it.
I think that was the last movie I went to.
All right, fuck that. Scratch that question. What would you sing at karaoke night?
What would I sing at karaoke night? I suppose I wouldn't, because I'm a horrible singer. Doesn't really work with karaoke, does it?
Yeah, actually, that's what makes karaoke great.
But I have some friends who have a karaoke set up, and when they used to have parties, they used to do karaoke and stuff. And I've done. They used to make me do Beth by Kiss all the time, right? Because Peter Criss sang it, and it was horrible when Peter Criss sang it. So they made me sing it, and they got a kick out of it. Drummer singing, look out. um, and I also used to do the Unicorn song.
That's funny. You mentioned that song because last night here at the fair they had live performers. I don't know who it was, but they sang the Unicorn song. He actually asked, "Do you guys want me to skip the Unicorn song or play it?" And someone's like, "Yeah, skip it." And then the other half, about 3/4 of people said, "Sing it." So I'm setting up. I'm running some power for one of the panels and listening to the Unicorn song. Sorry to interrupt your answer, but
no, that's fine. That's it.
Segue.
If you get the key to that, the key to getting me to do karaoke is I have to be really drunk.
So you're not even doing it at that point. K-Hawk does it.
K-Hawk does it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I avoid karaoke. I love going to watch Mikey do karaoke, but that's about the extent of my karaoke.
I'm the exact same as you. I don't sing. I don't like to. I mean, I sing in my truck. I sing in the shower. I sing when I'm drunk. When apparently I'm named Chris Rock. That's my alter drunk ego.
Your drunk ego is Chris Rock. I'm K.
That's what my friends from the cigar shops name me. Whatever reason, I don't know. But I really dig Rehab Bar. It's just a fun song to sing. That would have to be my. That'd be my. I think. And of course, it depends on the mood. Maybe a little Celine Dion, depending if I'm in a romantic mood. A little Britney Spears if I'm in a little horny mood. Just depends on the mood.
I think my favorite karaoke experience always though is when we go out with our cop buddies and they do "Fuck the Police."
Yeah, that's that's always good too.
It's always a good time watching a couple of cops do "Fuck the Police." But
all right, next question. If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
One meal?
One meal.
Steak.
Steak? Rest of your life, steak?
Steak. Most people would be like, okay, is that a meal? Yes, steak is a meal.
Oh, steak's a meal.
Steak's a meal. Do you want side dishes with that? No, just put more steak on my steak. I'm good.
Yeah. Steak with a side of steak.
Mm-hmm. So you can do a lot. You can do a lot of things with steak. It's not quite the it's not quite the blank canvas that chicken is, but you can do a lot of things with steak. You could do a whole lot of things with steak. Let me tell you, I did. I don't know if I told you this for Valentine's Day. I did fillet 2 ways. I got little fillets and did fillet 2 ways. That was really good.
What's fillet 2 ways? Sounds kinky.
I did filet mignon, right? I got 4 of them. So 2 for me, 2 for Jamie. And I did, one was in, I cooked it just in butter, basically. There was the butter fillet, and then there was the, I did a soy ginger fillet, which was also really good, but the butter one was pretty fantastic.
All right, I got it now. Man, steak's a hard one to beat, but through the summer, obviously I do a lot of smoking. Pork. I mean, pork loin, pork shoulder. Uh,
Any kind
pork.
of pork you can smoke and pull.
Yeah, pull
Or
or even slice.
slice.
You know, like when you came over and I did the shoulder. I think it was the shoulder I sliced.
Yeah.
I, yeah, smoked anything but smoked pork would have to be, and steak is right up there. But you said steak, so I'm gonna go with what would be right tied with it for me.
Pork. Do you want side dishes with that? No, just more pig.
So I can't ask you this next question because I already know the answer. So
Well, do our viewers know the answer?
probably, would you rather vacation in Hawaii or Alaska?
Alaska. Done.
Oh, I don't know. That is shocked me actually.
I will most likely end up in Hawaii before I get to go to Alaska, simply because I have a friend that lives in Hawaii. Um, but if it was one of those, you get a free trip anywhere in the world, do you want to go to Alaska or do you want to go to Hawaii? I'd go to Alaska.
But that actually honestly shocked me. I'm glad I asked because I was thinking Hawaii because you hate the cold.
No, no, I love the cold guy.
I thought you hated the cold.
No, I love the cold.
I need to change this thing to Chris getting to know Kay.
I'm a cold guy, man. I'm sitting here in the dining room and I'm sweating, much like you. You're glistening, sitting in your truck with the air conditioning.
No, that's probably just dirt from working all day. I'm actually I actually had to turn the air up, down. I don't know which way I'm gonna go. I made it warmer in my truck because I was starting to get a little cold. Like I worried about a couple holes in my shirt in certain regions if it cut right through. I agree. Alaska. I think.
See, I knew you'd say Alaska for different reasons than me, but
This will be fun. What reasons do you think I'd choose Alaska?
hunting and fishing.
Yeah, that'd be up there. Scenery, honestly, for me, I think Alaska is way more beautiful than Hawaii. I've never been to either, but pictures. Um, an Alaskan cruise is something I really want to do. I've seen pictures of people on them. I love mountains. I love that whole, wildness, the no freaking city, no town kind of thing. But I love the cold. I love the snow. I love all that stuff. But yeah, I think the scenery personally for me would be way better in Alaska than Hawaii.
I'm see now that's why I would go is to see the scenery in Alaska because and to be that close to nature and wildlife. I'm not a hunter. You're a hunter. I'd still enjoy walking through the woods, and there's plenty of woods in Alaska to walk through.
Yeah, and on the hunting thing, even more than fishing, because hunting's obviously a different side of than hunting. Hunting to me is the most relaxing. I don't know the word serenity means, but it comes to mind. Thing that that I've done. There's something about sitting in the woods and hearing, the wind, hearing everything that you hear in the woods, and the feeling, the fresh air is just one of the most awesome things for me. It actually may be the only thing that relieves stress for me more than smoking a cigar.
I'm with you. Sitting in the woods in silence is wonderful. My favorite time to do it is in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
You go walk through the woods, find a good tree, sit yourself down at it. The only difference is I'm not looking for things to bring home for dinner.
Yeah,
The one and only time I went hunting was when I decided that I would rather sleep in a bed than sleep in the woods. Because that's what I did. I went hunting, and I've always enjoyed being out in nature like that. And I sat down against the tree, and I was listening to things, and it was so calm and peaceful, and I just fell asleep. And then the people I was with were all pissed off because they flushed a big buck, and it came down my way, and walked down the trail that was literally 10 feet away from me.
And not that I should have an excuse, but hunting has always been my excuse to get out in the woods. I've never, which I need to do. I've never woke up and said, you know what, I just want to go for a walk in the woods. There's two things for hunting that are most for me. One, hunting camp. Much like smoking cigars with friends, it's just a good time. Hanging, drinking. There's obviously cigars, smoking, playing cards. Just the whole atmosphere of no responsibility, just hanging out with friends. And then the other part, like you said, is sleeping in the woods. I would rather go in the woods and sleep than hunt. But if I happen to be awake and something walks by, dinner. But yeah, it's see here, what was about 5 years ago, I got a permanent layoff one of my jobs. I was still working there, but I knew it was coming, and I was like a month from the layoff date. No, couldn't get no job. I went hunting mainly because I needed to get away. This was the first time I shot my buck. As pathetic as that sounds, there's a lot of hunters out there the same way. It was so I got to shoot my first buck, and it was a great buck, nice big huge 8-point. I got to sleep, I got to relax, and for that day in the woods, nothing else mattered to me because I was relaxed as I could possibly be.
Right.
And then 2 months later, after I was laid off, I got a free trip down to Texas through some points. My uncle owns part of a ranch down there, so I get to go down there and hunt for free. So I went down there, got my second deer. 2 months later, I haven't been hunting since. Not for deer. I duck hunt. And
yeah, you're still
goose hunting a lot.
Doing the birds.
Yep, and that's cool too. It's not the same as sitting in the woods. It's still kind of surreal. Differences is you're always usually seeing birds, whether they're close to you or in range or not. You're always seeing, you're always hearing. But the same thing. And the day I got my first buck, I was sitting in the tree stand smoking a cigar. Which I smoke when I hunt. I obviously didn't affect nothing there. But it is the same thing duck hunting. I have a cigar. I usually standing in cattails. I'll bend some leaves down to make a cigar holder. And the cool thing about hunting duck is, waterfowl, you're usually always with somebody, and you don't have to sit there and be quiet. You can sit there and talk, and you can hang out and still get a chance to shoot some delicious meat.
Duck is delicious. I'll give you that much.
Yes.
I don't know. My personal favorite time to go walk in the woods is actually in the middle of the night. I love to go walk in the woods in the middle of the night. Obviously, you go to woods you're familiar with when you do that, because you don't want to get lost. But it always trips me out every time I would take some people walking in the woods, after dark. So in the fall, it's dark, 8 o'clock. You go walking at 10 o'clock at night, and it's really dark. And you take people walking, and they're like, "How do you even know where you're going?" I'm like, "Look up. Stop looking at your feet like the sheeple that we are on a day-to-day basis, and look up. You can see where the trees create a path. Just follow it." It's really, that to me is, I think you already used the word serenity.
So I used it in the right context.
Yeah, I mean that's
sweet.
That's really what it is. It's
and on the woods, there's all this serenity and everything. It is also for me the scariest effing thing in the world. There's something eerie to me when you're walking by yourself. It's pitch black, basically midnight, but in the morning, pitch black, walking through the woods. And I have a gun. I usually have two guns. I usually have my pistol and rifle or shotgun, whatever I'm hunting with. It's still something really eerie about when you're walking with your flashlight, and all you can see is what your flashlight is aiming at, which is, what, a good 15 degrees in front of you. So you got all this around you that you don't know what animals behind that tree, if there's a freaking person in the woods. It's just something. The first time I ever went hunting, the night before, me and my buddy watched Blair Witch Project.
Oh, nice. See, I don't. I guess I'm such a cynical bastard, because to me, right, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing in the woods at night that isn't there during the day. You can walk through woods, and I guess that's what always tripped me up too. You'd walk through woods during the day with somebody, or alone or whatever, and then you take the same. If you're walking with somebody, you take the same person into the same woods at night, and you can sense the the trepidation off that person. You can sense that they're kind of creeped out, and I'm just like, why are you creeped out, man? This is the most gorgeous thing on the planet. You know, you were just in these woods during the daylight. There's nothing new here. It's all the same.
Right. For me, it's the unknown. You know something's watching you. Whether it's a squirrel, a chipmunk, a mountain lion, a bear, a deer, something sees you, but you can't see it. Then you get a lot of like nocturnal animals, coyotes, fox, a lot of this stuff that only comes out at night, not so much during the day. And it's just the whole feeling of what you don't know is staring at you. You know what I mean?
I guess maybe I'm weird. I don't get
no,
that.
And if I'm walking with you in the woods at night, I'm not going to be scared, but the strength in numbers. But I mean, there's just something, and I'm not, scared is probably not the word, just the eerie feeling. And like I said, I have a pistol here and a shotgun here, and usually the shotgun ain't loaded, obviously, because DNR would pull me over with my luck. But it's still just, something's watching me. I don't know what it is. I can't see you, but I know you can see me.
That cracks me. That just cracks me up, because I go walking through the woods and I don't have a weapon, and I'm cool with it. But I also don't get freaked out at haunted houses. Whatever. Guess I'm a.
Yeah. See, I'm the same with you. Haunted houses really don't do nothing for me. But yeah, just something about, I think they said the unknown. I don't know.
I love haunted houses, but they don't scare me. I've only actually been startled once in all the haunted houses I've been to. And it was a true I wasn't scared. It was just a, oh shit, I didn't see that coming type thing. It's really wild, because the haunted house had this hallway that narrowed as you got closer to the door into the next section, and at the end of the hall were all of these like Jason-esque hockey masks lit with a black light, so they were all glowing and stuff. And then as you're walking down the hall, and my friends always made me go first. I don't know why they ever made me go first, because the first person usually doesn't get the scare. Anyway, right. I'm going first, and this is the one that startled me. I realized that I was getting closer to the masks, but one of them was actually getting closer to me. And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't expect that. I thought it was just like a static, ooh, creepy hockey masks thing. And there's this dude walking at me with a hockey mask on. I'm like, oh wow, that was a really great idea.
Yeah, and I'm not scared of anything in a haunted house. The only thing that there's a difference between scared and jumping. Yeah, I jump in a haunted house all the time. It's like I'm not scared of a frog, but if I don't see it and I reach down and it jumps, yeah, I startle. I'm not expecting something jumping at me. But obviously I'm not scared of a frog.
I guess I don't have a very strong startle response, because I rarely jump at haunted houses too.
You got to think though. You got a ponytail. Some of the best, strongest guys in the world have ponytails.
Is that what it is?
I think so. I believe Chuck Norris had a ponytail at some point, right? It's just a sign of. Didn't Patrick Swayze have one in Roadhouse? I don't remember. I've seen it in a long time. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're there.
Speaking of Roadhouse, are you excited for the reboot?
That's Rousey in it?
Yeah, they're casting her in the role of Patrick Swayze's character.
What? Okay. All right, good. Segue. What in the hell is it with these remakes changing sexes? Ghostbusters apparently it's going to be 3 women?
I don't know.
What the heck?
I don't know. I think Hollywood's trying to cash in on the strong female lead.
Okay, segue here. How come Rampage Jackson goes to do a movie and Dana White says UFC or movies? And he said movies. But old what's her face, Ronda Rousey, has been in 3 or 4 movies now that I've seen her in, and there hasn't been a thing said. That's bullshit. I'm not saying racism, but I'm saying it's bullshit.
I think
You ain't gonna tell Rouse. You ain't gonna give her an ultimatum like that.
no. And she has to wait so long between fights. I mean, they have to. They basically have to breed someone new to fight her.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. It's not the same UFC and the same division that Rampage was in.
Right.
So
all right, and we got one more question.
All right, I want to segue back to haunted houses really quick because I saw this and I thought of you. So check this out. There's one out in California.
Okay.
And I know we're not going to get to go, but check this shit out. It's the whole premise is zombie apocalypse, and you're in this building, and to get out of the haunted house, you're armed with specially designed laser rifles, like laser tag.
Okay.
You have to fight your way past a house, a haunted house, essentially, that's full of 100 zombies.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
I know, right? And that's the whole premise. You have to fight your way through and out. It's like real live action Halo, basically.
Well, as it picks up steam, I'm sure somewhere locally will be doing the same thing. I'm sure it'll take off everywhere. Maybe not this year, but we'll have a chance to do it in some years coming if it's a big hit, I'm sure.
I thought that was brilliant.
But yeah, that'd be cool. I'd definitely go to that. All right. And our last question I'm going to ask, is your glass half full or half empty?
Depends on what's in it. Currently, my glass is almost empty.
But if it was halfway, is it half full or half empty?
Am I thirsty?
I don't care. Yes or no. See, and I got a brilliant, and I seen this question. I was like, I already got an answer, so I asked it.
All right, fire away.
And I'm shocked you're not smart enough to figure this out.
Let's hear it.
Technically, that's impossible.
Yeah, the glass is always full.
It's always full
because it's always full of air.
Yeah. See,
yeah.
So no, that's I was waiting for something like that from you because I knew you're smarter than me.
Yeah, I didn't really want to play that card, but since you were going to bring it up.
Oh, thanks. So it was not my fault. You know what I'm gonna do? Know what I'm doing right now? Yeah, that's it. Done.
We're not cool anymore.
All right, so let's go back to the cigar for a minute, because where are you sitting? I'm about there.
I think you got a little more than I do.
Mm-hmm. I know.
And I'm now dripping ash everywhere.
It's melting?
It's melting. It's melting.
The retrohale, it's very, for me, the spice is very faint. It's a little bit, but it ain't. It's been like an up and down. Started strong, went away, came back in a different kind of pepper form, and now it's kind of, it seems like it's on the down slope of going away. And where you're at will tell me more where I'm getting into.
Yeah, I'm not getting any, pretty much. Whether I'm completely used to it or it's just, yeah, it's really not there. Where is my damn thing? What's, I guess the most interesting thing has been the flavors, because now the earthiness is really kicking.
Yep.
The sweetness is almost gone. It's more of that earthy. It's not just cedar now; it's woodsy.
Yeah, I'm not strong there, but I can taste it starting to to get to that.
Yeah, there's almost no sweetness left now. There's the tiny bit of pepper on the retro, and then a whole lot of earthiness in the flavors.
Yep. Even for me on the retro, it's way in the back, like, still in the back of the throat, just as, the smoke comes up to retro. Like the spiciness is just extremely far in the back. It doesn't follow through all the way through for me.
Yeah, yeah.
I was going to bring something else up and I forgot.
That's what happens when you don't have a pen and paper in front of you.
I know. Oh no, that's what it was. I just opened my internet back up. All right, so, and you're going to know this, so I'm asking you. Around Nicaragua, below it, you got Costa Rica, above it, you got Honduras, right? So we know that's a growing region straight across. Even further north is Cuba. Do we have stuff that comes out of like El Salvador, Guatemala, stuff like that? Do you know?
No, I don't believe those countries grow tobacco, and if they do, not in the premium cigar market that I'm aware of. I'm sure somebody who knows a whole hell of a lot more than me might correct me, but not that I'm aware of.
Okay, and I just wonder because you look at the between the latitude, it's all within the same areas of Cuba, Dominican, and all that, and I wondered if that's something that if that's anything out there, if it's something that people are trying, and would it be different?
And then you skip straight ahead out of Central America into Mexico, and you get San Andreas.
Yeah. I was just, there's just a few more down there before you hit Mexico, and I was wondering if there's not, and if you knew why maybe there wouldn't be.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's the wrong kind of soil. I don't know if it's the political climate. I'm not well versed enough in Central American politics to know.
Maybe that's something that we could ask Fred, and maybe Fred would know something about it.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of interested to know, something like that. It's just maybe we could start our own tobacco farm down there, and we could bring up some El Salvador tobacco. All right. So we talked about the beginning. We've kind of mentioned them in the middle. Just we're going to recap for our next show. We're going to be having Fred Rury from Nomad Cigars on. We're going to do a little talking, of cigars. But the coolest thing about Fred is not his cigar knowledge and talking about cigars, is talking about regular stuff. Every day puts his pants on the same way as us, what kind of stuff he enjoys, what kind of stuff he does. A little history. Like we've said before, he was a comedian for 8 years. You can tell it when he talks. He's quick, he's witty. Questions, anything that anybody's going to have, send them to us, through all our Facebooks, Twitters, whatever. We're going to come up with some questions. Obviously, we want to have a good show. I don't know how long he's going to be on for. It's Fred. He probably could talk the whole time with us.
Yeah, I don't know. He didn't indicate if he was going to do just an hour or if he was going to hang out.
And I'm going to touch base with him on an email here, probably Monday, Tuesday, just to see what he's thinking. But I'm excited for that. I think that's really cool. That we're going to be able to bring, I'm going to say you, our viewers, a chance to listen to these guys, and you can get them from a lot of different people. He's a pretty social, active guy.
Yeah, I mean, we always bring up his social media presence, and I forgot. It's football season, right? Fantasy football is the big thing.
Yeah.
You ever see his fantasy football posts?
No, when I come to this fair for the whole week, I'm pretty much off my phone. I don't get time to do any of that.
Oh man, they're so funny. Well, you might remember from last year because he'll post like, Elle McPherson and cake. Hey, it's my fantasy. My fantasy team this week is Elle McPherson plus cake. Hey, it's my fantasy. and that type of shit always cracks me up because it's just so random. Like hey, everybody's playing fantasy football, and Fred is a football fan, so it makes it all that much more funny to get those weird little posts that really have nothing to do with nothing other than they're freaking funny.
Yeah, I'm super excited to get him on and talk to him. I don't care if nobody even watches it. I'm just excited to talk to him.
I'm sure we'll have plenty of people watching. So
More than once a year is kind of fun to do.
yeah, we definitely don't get to see him and talk to him nearly enough for my preference.
Yep, for sure. So, you got anything else, or you down to
No,
review?
I'm down to review. I'm about to put this thing out.
Well, I'll let you go first because I'm gonna smoke this last little bit while you go away with your numbers.
Appearance. Um, I actually kind of enjoy the fact that. Oh, here I should probably play cameraman. There we go.
Cameraman.
I enjoy the fact that there's no band on the cigar. It just sort of lets the cigar speak for itself. I mean, there's the yellow footband to identify it, the ribbon footband, which I think is really cool. And we talked about the broadleaf wrapper. It looked like a broadleaf wrapper. Yours wasn't as yours wasn't as veiny as mine, but mine had some definitely fairly decent sized. Are they bringing you Ookie Cookie again?
Chicken on a stick, actually. It's fucking delicious.
It had some decent veins. Nothing I didn't expect. Anyway, I'm gonna rate it a 1.8. I liked it. I thought the wrapper was beautiful, in spite of the veins. But again, Connecticut broadleaf, I totally expected it.
Yeah.
Burn. It actually burned pretty damn straight. Again, Connecticut broadleaf can lend to some burn issues just by the nature of the wrapper. I had to touch it up once, about halfway through that big vein that I showed at the beginning of the show. But I fully expected to have to do that just because, again, the nature of the beast. So we'll go with a 1.7 on the burn. Flavor. Oh, flavor. It was delicious. I really don't know what else to say. The interplay of all the flavors on the cigar was really cool. And then at the end, you get something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how the hell does that happen? You smoke a cigar and you got pretty consistent flavors all the way through, and you're like, yeah, okay, the spice is here, the spice is gone, now it's more sweet, you know. And then at the end, it just becomes this woody, earthy, crazy amalgam of stuff that wasn't there before. So I thought it was great. Let's go to. We're gonna go 2.8. Overall, yeah, I liked it. Would smoke again, which is good because I bought a box.
That's good.
This is much more fun when we're sitting side by side. I will say that.
Yes.
You and your inability to read a calendar. I commented to your wife about that last weekend too. I'm like, does Chris even know how to read a calendar? We adjusted the show schedule to miss all of your crazy stuff, and then.
But it's still on the better schedule for me.
Still had crazy stuff. Yeah. 2.7. 2.7. Now I have to do math. 9.3.
Okay. All right. The nice thing about me not being next to you and writing down your numbers is I forgot what all your numbers were. So that's kind of cool. Appearance. Again, a broadleaf. I wouldn't have guessed it's a broadleaf. This is smart Chris talking. It was a little. It was a little. I had to play with it. Sorry, I couldn't. I couldn't not do it. It was. I didn't have anywhere near the same kind of stuff you did. I really that one little vein, and it was like all the way down. It was nothing you wouldn't see on any other smoke. Good looking wrapper to me. I'm gonna go 1.9, especially for a broadleaf. I have to say it was really good looking. Burn. This has almost been razor straight for me. I touched it up one spot once. I think mainly when I was talking and not smoking. But either way, for a broadleaf to have anywhere close to a razor burn is pretty good. I'm gonna go 1.9 again. I'm basing that off the fact it's a broadleaf and it had the burn it did. Flavor, not much to touch on that you didn't. The sweetness, the pepper, it came, it went, it came, it went, and then you get down to that last, I don't know, quarter of it, and you start getting flavors that didn't even expect. Didn't see it coming. The earthiness I wouldn't have expected to show up because I had no signs of it going to be in the stick, which is cool. It's almost like if an example, if I was in a haunted house and like a mask come to me, it's like, oh, cool. I didn't expect that to be a person kind of feeling.
Exactly. Like, oh shit, that was cool. That's a great idea.
So that was cool because we talked many times. Dimension is awesome when you get it in a cigar, and then when you get a fourth dimension that comes in, you don't even know it's there. That's cool.
Yeah.
And I already feel it's going to go down as probably my highest rated one, but I'm going to go 2.9. That was my gut. I don't want to go 2.8 just because it's lowest number. Overall, we're going to test our system out. Worked out pretty good. I'm at a fair. I'm about to hang up and go eat carnival food. It doesn't get much better than that.
Go eat carnival food again.
Part of an elephant ear to start it, and I got chicken on a stick coming, maybe corn dog fry. I don't know. They got a guy over here with freaking 2 big ass wood fire grills doing ribs, and it smells so good.
And you're gonna go pee, so that'll be good for you.
And I'll be able to fart again. 2.8. I'm gonna go 2. I had to pee so bad you can't fart because you may pee. 2.8, and I'm pretty sure that'd probably be my highest rated cigar.
What's your score?
Yeah. That'd be 2, 3, 8. I forgot what I gave. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 7.
9.5.
Okay, I couldn't remember what a couple scores were.
9.5.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's probably up there. I don't remember. I think Neanderthal was my highest rated before that, and I thought that was maybe 9.5 or 9.6. So it's up there.
Yeah, we definitely gave the cigar the props it deserves on this one.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why we keep smoking Crown Heads, unfortunately.
We're gonna move away from those now for a while. We've got some cigars planned coming up.
Yep. Nomad next show. The show after that, I'm hoping will be Kilo.
With Barry Stein.
Haven't received them yet, but I know he said he's shipping them. So he'll be on here.
And then the show after that will most likely be the Halloween Tatuaje.
Yep.
The Halloween show.
Yes. Yeah. On Halloween, that's be a Saturday show.
And we'll do if I can, as long as they come in, I'll get some.
Yep. And I've been working on our studio, new backdrop. Hopefully, we're gonna be looking snazzy now.
Not some jerky audio in a truck, or
no
jerky video in a truck.
Hey, you know what? It worked. It got our show done.
It did. We got our show done.
I'm gonna check how many gigs I use. I'm just curious if any gigs.
I'm sure.
I didn't pay for it. It came free when I bought the truck, so I don't care.
You're streaming video and audio, so. All right, let's wrap it up, man.
All right. Well, we got Tales from the Humidor at Facebook, Tales FT Humidor on Twitter, Tales from the Humidor at gmail.com, talesfromthehumidor.com, YouTube, Tales from the Humidor. Did I miss any?
No, I think that's all the social media. That,
I'm not getting an Instagram. It's too much already.
yeah, I know. That's enough. We have enough social media presence, I think. So, it was cool. It was fun.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you next time.
All right. See you guys.